Broadcasting from the Studio Clubhouse, Radio Free Radio, WRFR, Hampton, Virginia.
Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Take 2. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the... Okay, that sounds crazy. Chocolate milk and waffles. Who eats that? It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. All right. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this sounds so crazy. Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Take 15. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Yeah. It's the crazy, 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 crazy show. That's what it is. Okay, whatever. I can't.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Nice to joke. Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show on Radio Free Radio. I am George for at least the next hour.
And I'm Terrell for the next 5 minutes.
We'll check back in with him in the next 5 minutes.
As always.
This evening we are here with George Pantas. Hello, George. Thank you for being here.
Hello, George. What a great name you have there.
I know. I appreciate yours. I once had a customer also named George, and he said to me, I never met a George I didn't like.
Hey.
So far that's held true.
I have
great taste.
I have my grandfather's name was George. Does that count for anything?
Kidding. Yeah, I imagine that does count.
That does count. Okay.
All right. Welcome, everyone, back to the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show. Thank you all for checking in with us every Thursday on Radio Free Radio.
Yes.
The number to call in with questions for the evening is 757-848-5920. Also would like to take the opportunity to remind you about downloading our Radio Free Radio app. Terrell.
Yeah, you could download it from the Google Plus or was it the Apple Store?
I believe so.
I don't have an iPhone, so I wouldn't know.
Me neither. I'm not quite that fancy.
iPhone products are out of my budget of $2 an hour. Anyway,
sounds like you got a raise.
I know, right? Up from $190. All right. As always, we like to plug that there are various events going around in the Hampton Roads area concerning the arts. And if you want to check out anything, definitely go to goodwordpoetryplus.blogspot.com. That's by our good friend Talia Chapman. Once again, that's goodwordpoetryplus.blogspot.com. She covers a lot of events in the 757 and the Richmond area. So if you're looking for an open mic or a paint night or something like that, definitely check that out.
And being the host of the open mic at the venue on 35th, I would be remiss to not mention some of the things that I've got coming up there. Actually, this Saturday at Work Release, there is an event called Writing Lightly. They have a gallery exhibit going on.
Oh, that's right.
Where all the pieces are made out of light bulbs and neon and just different lighting. And a few of us were invited to write ekphrastic poems about the pieces. So myself, Steph Love of Last Tuesdays, and Jeff Hewitt are going to be performing there.
It's nice.
It's going to be a really, really nice event. It's from 5 to 9 at Work Release in Norfolk. Then every Monday at the venue, we've got the open mic. Tuesdays at the venue, we do an event hosted by Marlon Hargrave called Performers Playground, where you come, you sign up, you make your presentation, and then you get critiques from some of the area's best acting coaches. Every first and third Wednesday of the month, we do all comedy shows at the venue. Second Wednesday of the month, I teach writing workshops there. And, of course, every Thursday, we have the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show.
Definitely. From 8 to 9.
Yes. And our show today is all about Mr. George Pantas.
Yes. Mr. George Pantas, how are you feeling today, sir?
I'm doing great, Terrell and George. Doing super. Very honored and excited to be here.
Well, I'm honored to have you here. You know, George and I have known each other for a few years, and I've known this George that I'm talking to my. You like the people at home can see my arms. Like he's moving his right hand right now. But George Mendez, I've known for years. But George Pantas, I've known for quite a while. So if you don't mind, tell people who is George Pantas.
Well, my name's number one, Mr. P. I'm the best there is, best there was, best there'll ever be. Often imitated, never duplicated. Number one, Mr. P, that's me. You've heard of 007? I'm 0014, twice as bad as 007. You're the nature boy, Ric Flair? I'm the nature man. Woo! Number one, Mr. P, that's me, but that's my old name. My new name is Master P, because I'm bowdy and rowdy. Hooty hoo! But that was then. This is now. I sizzle. Cause I'm P, jizzle, shh. Give it up for number one, Mr. P, yeah!
Bars. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Oh my
y'all
God.
have a good night.
The show is done.
I could die tonight. I'm good.
That's good.
Well, the best part of that story is I did that to Roddy Piper.
Oh gosh! Yeah.
In the ring. And he broke. I made Roddy Piper break character. He actually smiled.
I forgot I was there.
And you filmed it.
Yes.
And then he fired me, if you remember. And you can see it on YouTube at the VCW Hype Machine.
Okay. Speaking of VCW, that's where I actually know you from. Exactly. How did you get involved with wrestling from the beginning?
From the beginning. Well, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Luke's... Oh, no, that's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. Too easy. Wrestling, of course. I'm Greek. I guess we need to kind of put that out there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I was not born in this country. Came to America when I was 10 years old, not speaking a word of English. And wrestling is part, of course, of the Olympics and everything else. So I'm about probably 12 years old. I'm changing channels, the 3 that we had back then. So definitely dating myself here. Came to America in 66. And I saw this, what eventually found out was wrestling. I didn't really understand the language at that time. But then I quickly understood that 2 weeks later, back in those days, they would come to town every 2 weeks. They would come to the Norfolk Scope and then also to the Hampton Coliseum. And it would be the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yes.
Okay, the Ric Flairs and the Ricky Steamboats, and prior to them, now I'm really going to age myself, George Becker, Johnny Weaver, Johnny Valentine. So these are the guys that I fell in love with watching. And as I said, I wound up being able to go to the matches. Well, very long story short, I became friends with the promoter. His name was Joe Murnick. And he has 2 sons, Elliot and Carl. And through that friendship, I was able to, as I see this handsome young man filming us now, I was his age when I was able to film the old, very young, I should say, Ric Flair's and everyone else, at ringside. I was allowed, even though in those days wrestling was very kayfabe, as we say in the business. I don't understand it except to say it was God, that I was able to sit next to the ring announcer and film the matches.
Okay.
And so that developed a friendship. I was never in the business at that stage, but I was trusted by the wrestlers to eventually where I became, as I got older, I became friends with the Ric Flairs and the Steamboats and everything else. So my love goes back to my early age as a young man who was able to see these stars on TV. And in those years, we had the Virginia Squires here, but that did not make it as a basketball team. Yeah. But these were TV stars that you could see and touch and feel 2 weeks later. And I just fell in love with that whole world. Okay. Through that, I was able to meet people like Joe Louis, who was a special guest referee one night, Andre the Giant, and of course I could go on and on. Yeah. But that was the beginning for me.
Okay.
Okay. Eventually, those films, jumping really ahead, and maybe we can talk about that somewhere in the course of the hour, that my film footage was used on a documentary about Jim Crockett Promotions. And then from there, I was able to sell some of that footage to WWE, and actually some of my footage has already aired on the WWE network. Wow. Yeah. So that is one of those pinch me moments. Yeah. But that's a story for later on.
Yeah. Now, so you were dealing with the Mid-Atlantic area, the Mid-Atlantic time frame. Now, we all know how things have changed since then. My random question to you is, do you miss the days of the territories?
I miss the camaraderie that existed with the guys. And the fact was, when you hear Ric Flair tell the stories of going out to September's afterwards in Virginia Beach and partying, well, I was there at some of those because by then I was old. I was in my 20s. That just doesn't happen anymore. These guys are constantly on the go. You know, they'll come into town, but then as soon as the show is over, they're either driving to another town or catching a flight. And that camaraderie that existed, that as a fan, and that's all I was at that time, that you were able to get to know them on a personal basis, that part doesn't exist anymore. And because of that, I guess that's the part that I think the young people miss now, to being able to just hang out with them as regular people. But I like the product better today because it's given an opportunity for many of the young men to become and women to become these amazing international stars and to make the kind of money that they need to make, because as much as the business includes entertainment, they're still athletes in pure form.
Yes, they are.
And as you know, for being someone that's in the business as well, right next to that ringside, no matter how you do it, you're still going to get hurt. You're still going to break an arm, a leg, a neck. And I'm just blessed for them and happy for them that they're able to make the money that they can make nowadays.
Now, because we've known a few that come through VCW that are now international, when you see a Jade on TV, we knew her as Mia Yim. How does that make you feel?
Well, that, and actually just Facebooked with this comment, so I'll share it on the radio. I'm also a high school teacher. I teach at Hampton High School, my alma mater, and happened to be talking with some of the students who are wrestling fans, and I used Mia as an example of someone who worked very hard to get to where she is today. For our listening audience, Mia worked for VCW back in like 09, somewhere around there. And she was actually for lack of a better word, my administrative assistant. And I was blinded, and that's also on YouTube. I was blinded by one of the wrestlers who tried to set me on fire by pouring gasoline on me. And the following month, even though this wrestler, his name was Cusick, was banned from coming to one of the wrestling shows, he showed up anyway, came to get his revenge on me. I had bandages and not able to move at all in any direction. And he grabs Mia, Jade, and power bombs her right in the middle of the ring. So for me to be able to say, here's a young lady that was involved in a spot that we did, and now to see her on TNA and Shimmer and so many other shows,
definitely.
I'm just so proud of her that words cannot explain the happiness, because I know the hard work that she puts into it. And of course, another one would be, he just made his debut again, Luke Gallows.
Yes. Oh gosh, I forgot Luke is.
Luke was the VCW heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And back in 2005, and then he wound up going up to WWE at that time, and was able to do extremely well. And then went to Japan and made even a bigger name for himself. Yeah. So when I was watching Raw the other night and I saw him come out, it was like, yes, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, it's just interjecting me personally. It's too surreal to be in that locker room and to know you're looking at future stars. It's just crazy. Like, yeah, this person is, even if you don't know at that time, you still kind of know that, wow, the world has to see this person do what they do.
And would you not agree with me that to me that's really one of the number one reasons, besides the money that's a lot cheaper than, say, a WWE show, that one of the great reasons of independent wrestling is you get to see them, you get to touch the future stars, and you do get a chance, what I was talking about earlier, the camaraderie with the fans. You're able to do that in an independent show, especially one like ours, Vanguard Championship Wrestling.
Now, with that being said, with the camaraderie, now we have many independent federations over in North America, well, all over the world. You have independent federations. It's definitely growing up big in Africa right now. Also, why do you think that consistently people are drawn to the Mid-Atlantic area when it comes to a standard for indie shows?
I think it goes back to what was said earlier in regards to Jim Crockett Promotions. They were known for having the best. It wasn't when you were wrestling for Jim Crockett Promotions back in the 70s and 80s, you were already an established star. And the high level of talent that was here, I think that has resonated through the years to the point that even now people remember those years with fondness, and there's the proof is in the pudding because thank you YouTube, people are able to see some of those matches, and thanks to George Pantas who filmed some of those matches that only fans saw in the arena. Now they can see them again on the WWE Network for just $9.99.
All right, you are listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffles Show. We are here with George Pantas, and we're going to go to a song. Up next, we've got Taz with Love Song. And we're back. You're listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffles Show on Radio Free Radio. The number to call in with your questions, comments, and concerns is 757-848-5920. We are here with Mr. George Pantas.
Did you say concerns?
And yes, absolutely.
Like we're unsafe for your children and pets. So if you have concerns about that, please give us a call. Oh, wow. We were talking during the break, and I could talk to you about wrestling all day. That definitely.
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay. Now, you and I both work for a great company. You mentioned independent wrestling, yes, and Hotbed, and definitely there are several different local organizations. But to me, the cream rises to the top, and that has to be and is Vanguard Championship Wrestling, VCW.
Definitely.
You are one of our premier cameramen. Talk a little bit about that experience. The fact that you're there at ringside. What have been some of
talk to us about that experience?
Some of your high moments that you can't believe this is happening.
Oh gosh, it's quite an experience. I love it. Like George and I was saying, the fact that they've taken me in this family as one of the guys is truly great. I definitely got to say two of my most memorable moments was the Paul London and gosh, I haven't seen him in a while.
John Kerman?
No, it wasn't Paul London and Kerman, but I'm gonna mention that also. It was Paul London and Victor Griff.
Okay.
That ladder match. There was a part where they had me posted up beside the ringside, the guard, and I'm trying to move, and everywhere I move, they move the ladder in front of me. And I'm just like, yo, are they ribbing me right now? Because I'm really just trying to do my job. And that was a great experience. Another one was George actually got me to stick with the late, great Roddy Piper. He was like, whatever he says, whatever he does, you record it. And to watch Roddy Piper interact with people was such a beautiful thing. Everybody that came to him. He
was always my favorite.
Everybody that came to him, before they left, he knew their name. And he had a story to connect their name to how he was going to remember it. That dude was just so amazing, man. But I got to say, one of the most humbling things was to record the Paul London. It's plenty of Paul London stuff. It's some unseen Paul London footage that we have that is just hilarious. Shout out to Brandon Matheny, who did the best interview with Paul London ever. But the Paul London John Kerman match for the was it Liberty title?
Liberty title.
For the Liberty title. I took the match, this was before I was actually a cameraman, edited and put it to music, and to actually have ESPN take that same video and retweet it out to their followers was just truly amazing.
Wait, I don't think I know this story. So you're saying the ESPN actually...
The ESPN actually retweeted the link to the video out to people, and it was great because those were two guys that are definitely professionals in the ring. With that being said, let's take it back to you.
Okay.
How do you think social media has affected the industry? Give me some of the pros and some of the cons that you feel is important to the industry.
The positive about social media is that the ease and access of getting your messages out there, the ability to get the wrestlers, because as you know, we don't just use local talent. We bring them in from New Jersey, from from all over the area, the Carolinas, from out in Texas and everywhere else in between. And so to be able to get them as an independent promotion, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are listening, keyword independent, it's not like we have a huge budget to work with. And so the social media really helps us to get the message out there, and also allows those wrestlers that are far away to send videos where we can then edit and stuff that you've helped us with to make that package even more professional looking and get the message out there. That's the positive side. I think if there is a negative is that sometimes the message can get diluted with the interaction between a lot of the fans and the wrestlers, who feel like they can just respond to a post that's made because they think they can, and not that they can't, but sometimes it just becomes too personal.
Yeah.
That I think there's certain topics that should be off social media. So that bothers me sometimes when I see that happening. So, but like everything else in the world, for every yin there's a yang. So you got to take the good with the bad sometimes.
Definitely.
If I had a choice, I love the social media because of the ease of getting the messages out there.
Yeah,
And
because
speaking of getting the message, we have to say that Vanguard Championship Wrestling has a show coming up.
definitely. Was it June 4th?
It's June the 4th, where Brandon, our current heavyweight champion, is of course Brandon Scott.
Yes.
And he cheated. I wasn't there when this happened. I was out of the area looking for talent. And again, fans, those of you listening, I wear many hats in this amazing place we call God's green earth, the United States of America. And one of them is the commissioner for Vanguard Championship Wrestling. And while I was not there one time, Brandon cheated to win the belt by really double teaming one of our Hampton, Virginia's own Damian Wayne. And so now we have a rematch with Damian Wayne against Brandon Scott for the title.
Okay.
And this particular one for June the 4th is actually going to be Brandon Scott and his partner, of course, Brandon is managed by Jerry Stefanicis.
Yes.
And Mr. Banks is the partner against Damian Wayne and a mystery partner that I will not reveal at this time. We want the fans to show up and see who that mystery partner is. That's one of the many main events.
But you know who it is.
Of course I know who it is. I'm the one that signed him.
Okay, so George and I will be talking off air about this.
Yes.
All right. So where do you see the indie scene going from here?
It's thanks to the fact that that WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, all these promotions really have revitalized the industry, and because if those true wrestling fans out there who are watching the WWE product now will know AJ Styles.
Yes.
Okay, where did he come from, right? Okay, Ring of Honor, TNA, there. Roman Reigns, not Roman Reigns. He was Ring of Honor champion. He just got injured. He was the WWE champion.
I know who you're talking about. I rarely watch WWE. I try to catch it.
Anyway, Ring of Honor. Okay, so local the independents. We just talked about Luke Gallows. So the independent scene is really an opportunity for the local talent to go up to the WWE. So because of that, we are getting more interest. We are getting a lot of hungry guys that want to prove themselves on the independent scene so they can get noticed by the other three promotions. So I see it as a revitalized industry, to answer your question.
Definitely. Now, my final question for you, actually it's two questions you can answer. Tell me what will be your dream singles match and your dream tag match.
Well, before I answer that, I do want to say on a personal note, my dream match at the age of 57 was when I got in the ring in a 6-man tag. Now, if somebody would have told me that George Pantas, that little kid that watched it on TV back in the 60s, would be in a ring wrestling, I would be, yeah, right. However, it happened, as you know, in a 6-man tag team match where the winner of the match would wind up getting the job of the commissioner. I had lost my job as the commissioner, and that's another story for another day. And so it was myself in the set versus the former VCW tag team champs versus Jerry Stefanicis and the Whole Stars. And I'm very proud to say that the ending was that I put the Hampton Crab on a variation of the Boston Crab out there for the wrestling fans on Jerry Stefanicis and made him quit. And then I fired him and I got my job back as the commissioner. So that was a dream match that, I will forever cherish. But as far as answering your question, I think what would be a great match is we had Tommy Dreamer come in and kind of work with Brendan Scott when they were both on the same fence, if you will. I'm sure Tommy Dreamer can teach Mr. Scott a thing of two, given the fact that he went to the darker side of the Force. And I would love to see that match as far as a dream match on the local independent scene. Now, what was your other question?
The dream tag match.
Tag match. I would love to see the old Jim Crockett Cup tournament. I would love to see something like that happen in VCW. And not that I'm ready to make any kind of announcement. I'm not. But for the fans out there, we are bringing in a lot of new tag teams. So can that happen down the line? I wouldn't be surprised. And because of the many teams out there, I don't know if I can honestly just pick just one dream match. My answer is the tournament, a tag team tournament.
That would be great.
Yes.
That would be great. That is it for me because I know I can talk a hole in your head. So I'm going to switch it over to my partner, a.k.a. Waffles. No, I'm Waffles. He's chocolate milk. I almost got it confused.
Figure yourself out,
I almost told you.
Figure yourself
for
out.
5 minutes, I was me.
You held on for as long as you could. I'm proud of you. You are listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show on Radio Free Radio. Again, the number to call in is 757-848-5920. At the bottom of the last break, we had Andrew Tillman with Sick of Love Poetry. Up next, we've got Dave Welsh with Bus Trip Home. And we're back. You are listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show on Radio Free Radio. That was Jonah, Micah, Judy with Ruby. We are here with Mr. George Pantas, and we have been talking wrestling. I have been on the edge of my seat listening to the two of you's conversation. It has been informative as well as entertaining, edutaining, if you will. But Mr. Pantas is a man of many, many talents. And he is also in charge of dinner theater out here in Williamsburg. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on there at the dinner theater?
Yes. Williamsburg Dinner Theater is our name. And this was a venture of highly important to me and to our family. It was something that we wanted to do for years. And the opportunity came up last summer. The Williamsburg Dinner Theater scene has been very active in the past. However, within the last couple of years, it had declined, and basically with people that were producing the different shows moving out of the area. And so we got a chance to see that opportunity, and it was one of those, well, why not? It was active before. It was supported before. Since the persons behind the scenes in the past were no longer in the area, this gave us the opportunity to reach out. And that's what we did. And we opened up our first show over in July, and it was the same show that we're doing this new season with, which starts tomorrow, My Big Fat Greek Murder.
Sounds wonderful.
Of course, the movie just came out, the sequel, and which was another reason we had a lot. When we did it the first time around, it was a small window of time that we put it on, and we had several requests to bring it back. And so with the sequel coming out, that literally came out at the end of March, we saw this as an opportunity to revisit the play. And we are getting ready to have our opening tomorrow night, and very excited with the people that are already coming, and we're looking forward to really putting on a great show for them.
So, how did you get into acting? I did a little bit of homework before having you on the show. Your daughter explored acting first and kind of infected the rest of the family with the bug, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. And speaking of my daughter, her name is Aliki. Aliki Marie Simones Pantas. The other way around. Let's try it again. Sorry, sorry, Glenn. Aliki Marie Pantas Simones. And we had both of our daughters, and we also have Constance Moody. Both of them were involved in the local theater with the hurrah players when they were very young. And Ali, or Aliki, really, really fell in love with it and decided to major at ODU with a theater degree, and has been very, very active in the local scene, from producing, directing plays, acting in plays, producing shorts, and a lot of commercials and other things of that nature. And when again, going back to the idea of putting on the dinner theater, it was a natural growth for Aliki to be the director.
Okay.
And even with all the plays that we've done, she is the one that does the directing portion of
I
the
see.
play. Now that she's a married woman, is not as involved in the acting part with us, but she still directed when we were rehearsing and everything. You know, she directed this, and of course directed the other ones, and actually acted in the first My Big Fat Greek Murder that we did back in July.
Very nice. So, tell me a little bit about the process of putting together an event like this, from the writing all the way up through follow through.
Yes. The physical location, as we said, is in Williamsburg. We are located inside the Quality Inn Suites, which is on Richmond Road, right next to Captain George's there, and for our listening audience as well, the outlet stores. We're literally one light away. And so when and that's where actually one of the plays that we had seen in the past in the theaters was located.
Okay.
So when we found out that that location was no longer being used for dinner theater, we approached the management there with the opportunity to put on the dinner theater. And when they said yes, then we really went into, whether you want to call it panic mode or you want to call it action mode, and oh my gosh, we can make this dream finally come true.
Very nice.
So then, so what play are you going to put on, and are we going to write it? You know, my wife Joanne Pantas has written several plays in the past, but this all fell in place in such a quick succession that it was more logical for us to search out established writers, and so we purchased this. My Big Fat Greek Murder was written by Nia Hardy.
Okay.
And we were able to purchase it from her, rent it really,
I see.
and then you have to do the auditions, and we
Right.
advertised all over, and we had actors coming in from Petersburg, from Richmond, from Virginia Beach, from Norfolk, from Williamsburg. So that was an enjoyable and a very stressful time.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because everybody brings a certain quality to a part. And as you know, since you're involved on that side of the stage as well, with you, I heard there at the beginning, you're very involved with the venue.
I am.
And so you know what it is to be on a mic in front of an audience as well.
Right.
Not just here like on radio. People can be right yet not right, and then you as a casting director, you know, you second guess yourself sometimes. So that has been a growing experience for us as well. My wife Joanne and I and Aliki, you know, trying to bring together a group that we know is the best that we're able to assemble from those auditioning. And then the beauty comes in watching them grow. I think that has been the blessing, when to cast someone and maybe not be 100% sure if this is the right person, and then just to watch them blossom and take the characters to even higher levels than at least I have envisioned. Aliki, who, as we said, is a theater major, you know, she saw the potentials immediately. With me, it was more of, now I see what you're saying. So that part of the process to me is something that makes me proud that I've been able to help people grow. and then to provide that entertainment, to hear the people laugh, to react to the punchline when they're supposed to react, to get up. And we purposely pick plays that have a lot of interaction with the audience, a lot of singing and dancing, and the audience, those that want to participate, literally become characters in the play. And for our listening audience who has, if you have never experienced a dinner theater, the difference would be that instead of sitting in an auditorium setting and watching the action take place on the stage, the action takes place all around you. It is literally right next to you. And when the actors interact with the audience, they're right there next to you, and it's just a totally a total experience where everyone literally is part of the play, and it's very unique from the standard, just kicking back and watching what's up on the stage.
A dinner theater is definitely something that's been on my bucket list for a very, very long time. I will be certainly paying you a visit. So, who do you play in My Big Fat Greek Murder?
Well, in My Big Fat Greek Murder, this was a very hard role for me to play. I play a Greek father.
But I must have been.
Okay.
How did you prepare for the role?
Yeah. I'm sorry, that was too easy of a joke. Yes, so maybe not a big stretch. However, I do channel actually my father's accent, and even now as I speak, I have been in America for over 50 years now. And I can hear a little bit of an accent in my voice. Mm-hmm. But when I play the father, I very much have a very thick Greek accent. And so it's the same for our listening audience. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, of course, is what started this this experience. The play is where they take the same characters. The names are changed just a little bit, and different adventures happen. It is a murder mystery, and so therefore someone does not make it all the way to the end. And part of the fun of the audience is to figure out the clues that are given and to figure out who did it. And not only that, if you do figure out who the killer was, you win prizes.
Oh, very nice.
We award prizes not only for who guessed it correctly, but if you're very creative in your guesses, if you and then we also want to make sure, again, we're very inclusive, so we'll even draw someone at random. So we give several prizes to kind of just give everyone an opportunity to be involved.
Very nice. So being that there's such a heavy element of audience participation, do you have any stories of moments where you found yourself having to improvise a little more than you possibly anticipated? Very
much so. That's actually, and as we continue to do more and more plays, this is the number one quality, besides great acting, that we look for those who audition for us, is the ability to improvise, because you will get the extreme from the audience members. You'll get the quiet ones that you kind of have to almost not drag them, but just really encourage them. Come on, you can do this. To those that literally steal the show. We've had times where a line is supposed to be said, let's just say, at the beginning of page 2, if we were to look at the script, and the person is so excited, they'll say it 3 or 4 lines before they're supposed to say that part. But the actor can't break character, and so they have to improvise that and make it work. We've had people, because of the singing and dancing, we've had some that have amazing voices, and they feel like they are the show. So then those are the kind, the actor's ability to kind of bring them down a little bit.
Must be such a talented group of people to be able to pull that off.
We're very blessed. And speaking of talented people, I do want to give a shout out to our actors for this particular show. And playing, and all the actors, by the way, play multiple roles. Okay? And so Alex Gutchuk, sorry, Alex, if I'm mispronouncing your name, he was actually in the original production that we did. So he's reprising his role of Bill, Zorba, and some other actors in between. And Anastasia Ravenwolf is new to the scene here in this area, and she's playing Sophie and some other parts. And these are the names. So Bill, for example, would be the husband from the movie concept,
Okay.
and Sophie would be Nia Vardalos' character. And then Colmore Shoemaker plays a variety of different roles. And Colmore is a great, Cole by short name is a great story to share with you. He actually I'm sorry, I can hear my accent coming out.
Yeah.
He saw the first production that we did, fell so much in love with it that he auditioned when we had another play. It was Midsummer's Night Scream.
Oh, that sounds
He
fantastic.
auditioned and actually got a part, and he was the lead in that one. And then now he has fallen in love with theater all over again, and continues to be one of our revolving actors, for lack of a better word. And that's something that we also try to nurture. Is once we have an actor, we do our best to make sure that they are family, and we can able to cast them in different roles. So that's something that we are very proud of. That we truly, not only are we family entertainment, but we also are family when it comes to our group as well.
Yes. Well, we are almost out of time this evening. I could continue this conversation for well into the night. Very quickly, let everybody out there know one more time how they can get in contact and find information about the Williamsburg Dinner Theater.
Yes, and I wanna make sure I mention Hannah's name, Hannah
yes.
Picardo, George Opie, and of course my beautiful wife Joanne and I as the other actors in it. WilliamsburgDinnerTheater.com is where you can find all the information about our play. We're also on Facebook, so please find us and like us on Facebook. We're located Inside Quality Inn Suites right on Richmond Road at 5351 Richmond Road. And also we want to make sure that we share with the people that we not only do the shows there, but we are actually what we would call a suitcase theater. We can bring it to any organization, any group. People can use it as a fundraiser. They can either come there or they can bring it to their church, and we come to them. And so, and we also do a variety of packages. This Friday we have a bachelorette party that's being celebrated at our theater, and another group celebrating a young lady's birthday. So we've done anniversaries. We have been recommended by Wavy TV for the best date night. And we've just been very fortunate and very blessed with the opportunity to provide this kind of wholesome family entertainment for our area.
And we have been blessed and very fortunate to have you on the show tonight. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for your time and your conversation.
But I was like, real quick, I want to hear a little bit of the father. Just anything.
Anything with the father. Everybody, be quiet. Sit down, please. We have a little emergency in the dinner here. Sophie's fiance. How you say that word? Fiance. How you say that word?
Fiance?
Beyonce. Where's Beyonce? Beyonce, where? Oh, fiance. Yes. Oh, he don't look so good. Ooh, something is wrong with him. Let's come to the dinner theater and find out what is wrong with him.
Very good. Thank you again, Mr. Pantas, for being here. You have been listening to the Chocolate Milk and Waffles Show on Radio Free Radio.
.com. I'm Terrell.
And I am George.
And remember, we do what we do.
Because we includes you. Good night, everyone.
Peace.
One time.